What's up guys, I'm Justin Davis. Welcome to the Drone Camps RC channel, and today I have a fantastic new review for you. But before we get started, help me out on Patreon because I do make a lot of FPV videos for the FPV drone community. You can check us out on Facebook at Drone Camps FPV Community. Join our Discord, Instagram, and now we're on TikTok as well, and Twitter. So all of our links are down below, either in the video description, or you can check out our channel main page. We also have a community page that we update, YouTube Shorts, and all kinds of cool stuff. And most importantly, this month, and in the next 100,000 subscribers, we're giving away a DJI FPV drone. So DJI FPV drone to one lucky guy on the channel in the next 100,000 subscribers. So subscribe, hit the notification bell for when the new videos come out so you can find out who wins it. That will be going on for a while, but today we're gonna check out the tiny ape from Darwin FPV. Check this little guy out. It is a super tiny 2S to 3S analog backyard ripper. We have another backyard ripper on the channel, and I'm excited to take you out today and show you two different styles of flying with this. We're gonna do some just standard fly along cinema Insta360 Go shots with it. You can put any kind of little tiny action camera on here, and we're also gonna fly some rippin' dippin' hardcore crash and bash power loop action acro flying freestyle with this quad. This quad is all about freestyle. Forget the Firefly FR. This is a whole different beast, and we'll eat that one for lunch. So let's go ahead and get into the next honest review, guys. Flight test first, and then back on the bench after we're done flying. Here we go. Let's fly the tiny ape. I like cheap. You like cheap? I like cheap. Here we go. All right, guys. If you know me, you know I'm all about micro brushless, and I'm all about cheap. But let's go ahead and fly a 3S 450 milliamp battery, and let's see what 3S can do for freestyle. Now I'm gonna go for my first power loop right here, and boom, back through with speed. That's what I'm talking about. That is so different, night and day different than the Firefly Baby Nano FR that they claim is a freestyle quad. It doesn't have the power to weight ratio that this does, but this is also running way bigger power system. 1103 motors, guys. And again, this is the micro brushless power to weight ratio sweet spot. Like, you can get away with the craziest stuff with these little micros. You can turn in your backyard into basically a little skate park. It's a lot of fun. So we're just gonna fly through that water that we just landed in, and try to fly fast and clean up the lens a little bit. There it goes, it's defogging a little bit. But power loop, tried to get the overhang for the power loop. That didn't happen. A little bit late in my back part of that loop. So coming back around, I'm gonna line up another one here. Bam, into the tree. Full crash. And so another durability test. It's working out pretty good as far as the durability goes. So let's strap up the Insta360 Go 2 on there this time. A little lower camera angle, and I'm gonna try to just chill out. I'm gonna try to cruise and not fly it like I stole it, because that's how I love to fly. I like to fly stuff fast and furious, but for the sake of a cinema test, I'm gonna try to really slow down here. So you can see a little bit of wobble here in certain parts of the throttle. And that's not the quad itself. That's actually a bent prop that I have on here after flying freestyle. I banged it all over the backyard. The quad is really durable because of the lightweight. It just kind of bounces off stuff. I crashed into the roof. I crashed into the fence, through the trees. I almost didn't get it back after I crashed on the roof, but I was able to find it. Make sure you set up also your beeper on there. Make sure you set up the auxiliary beeper, because you'll never find this thing in the tall grass if you crash in tall grass. But it handles the dive even with the Insta360 Go on there. The Go 2 is a little bit heavier than the original Go, but I feel like overall it flies good for if you wanted to make little cinema videos with this and play around with an action camera. You could do that all day long with this one and just cruise. You can slow it way down. I was having fun just kind of flying around the backyard, but ELRS on the flight controller, bind and fly, that's what's up. So pretty sweet. I will be taking you guys back to the bench, and we'll talk about this one on the bench, honestly. I mean, I have no idea what happened here. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back from the flight test. This quad with a battery, total takeoff weight without a camera is 99 grams. Now with this little Insta360 Go 2 and the mount, you're looking at 140 grams. This thing is under 150 grams with the Go 2. It's kind of amazing. So this quad really has a dual purpose function here. It can do cinema stuff with a little decased GoPro on here. You can also put the Insta360 Go 2 that I have here. You can put on the new RunCam thumb on there as well. RunCam, if you're listening, send me a thumb, guys. Don't be stingy. I'd like to review that for my guys. We have a pretty big following at we're at almost at 177,000 now, you guys, so I want to say thanks for that. Be sure to hop in here and subscribe again if you're watching this video. We've got that DJI FPV drone coming up to give away for the next 100,000 subscribers. One lucky guy is going to get that. So this is an 1103 series micro brushless beast, and I've talked about this 1103 to 1102 2S to 3S micro brushless kingdom before, and you know what? I love 1103 series motors with 2 and 3S. It's like a playground for FPV. I mean, you can really have a lot of fun in your backyard. It turns into a jungle, and if you're around playground equipment, this is so fun because this little tiny quad, you can power loop this thing like less than 10 feet off the ground. I was trying to power loop that same overhang out in the backyard, that little, we have grapes going across, some Concord grapes going across there, and with the Firefly Nano Baby FR freestyle version, in parentheses, freestyle, you know, I was having problems coming back around, and I was over boosting, and then I wasn't able to come back in through and without bottoming out. Now with this one today, it was completely different animal, and on the high end of the throttle, I could come in super hot, super fast. I made the first power loop that I went for, and we were doing freestyle all over the place, doing 80-foot tree dives. I think that the freestyle capability of this one, it reminds me of like the old school like Manta. Do you guys remember the Happy Model Manta? That was one of my favorite smaller, I believe it was a 2.5 inch quad as well, but that frame was super cheap. The components were cheap, dirt cheap. And this Darwin FPV kind of reminds me of a modern, like updated Happy Model Manta. And I miss that quad. I feel like that was much better of a freestyle quad than any of the Flywoo 1S quads ever were. But that was I believe that was a 2S beast. So I can't be too hard on Flywoo for that one. But I was expecting more out of the Firefly FR series. So I'm happy that today I have something like very durable. This is a unibody frame on the bottom, around 2.5 millimeter, 3K carbon fiber. It is reinforced front and back. I crashed into the house. I bounced all the way down the shingles on the house to the ground on the concrete, bounced on the cobblestone out in the backyard, and this frame did not break. I thought I had broke it right here, but it's actually a black piece of tape. So it's kind of amazing that it survived a crash down the side of the house. I hit trees with it. I smacked into the patio furniture. I hit the basketball hoop out in the backyard. And what else did I hit? I flew into the trees with it. I landed in wet grass with it. And I also landed in a bucket of water. There was only about this much water in the bottom of it, but they have put a little tiny piece of plastic protecting it from any type of splashes when you land. If you land in wet grass with the quad, notoriously a little drop will get in there and it'll fry one of the MOSFETs on the ESC, and you're completely done. So this is cool that they have that on there. I know like Diatone also does that on their flight controllers, and also just helps keeping like the circuits away from touching the carbon fiber, because carbon fiber is conductive, guys. So I think it's nice. They also have an F411 flight controller in here. They have 15 amp ESCs, letting you run anywhere from 2 to 3S. And my battery of choice, honestly, for 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if you're cruising, is just a 3S 450. And that's the Eachine branded GNB batteries. These are GNB batteries, but they just slapped an Eachine label on there. And these charge up pretty quick in about 10 minutes time. I also like the fact that they also have the GemFan 2.5 inch props on there. You can decide whether you want to put the bolts on top of these props. I think you could probably fly this without the bolts on top of the props, but hey, you know, I didn't want it to fly off today, and I was going to do some pretty fun extreme maneuvers for you guys, because today, again, I was really hot on the throttle and I was flying it like I stole it. But when you hook it up to Betaflight, also be sure that you update it to the latest Betaflight. You want to be running the experimental build of the Betaflight because if you try to update this on an older version of Betaflight, you're gonna bork the ELRS receiver on there and it's gonna do wacky things. Mine like almost flew out of the backyard full throttle, and I was able to do, you know, throttle cut, and I dropped to the ground. So make sure you're ready to hit the arm switch if you're making updates on the old Betaflight, because it'll do wacky things. Just a tip for new guys, make sure you download the latest version of Betaflight. I can't say that enough. But as far as what you get in the box, I mean, this quad is a pretty good price on the Banggood website. You also get some zip ties in here, some stickers, DarwinFpv stickers, and I'm not a big fan of these Velcro straps. They're kind of crap. This is something like you get in like a craft store. I'd like to see like an actual FPV race quad battery strap in there with like a metal buckle on there, guys, and maybe a Darwin FPV logo on there. But you know what? Again, we're buying stuff on the cheap. You can get these at the craft store if you ever lose one of these or replace it. You need to replace it. It's kind of ridiculous. But I also like the fact that it has a 600 milliwatt unlockable VTX on here. It's defaulted to 400 milliwatt, and it does get pretty hot on the bench, so you want to be careful about that. I believe it is defaulted as you start your quad up around 400 milli, so be careful there. We've got a dipole coming out the back, and I moved my antenna underneath the motor wire here to make sure that this was kind of hanging out precariously back here, and I knew it would end up in these 2.5 inch props and get totally eat up. So you want to run it underneath the motor wire right there and kind of point it down, and it'll usually be fine. But I liked flying this, and I liked having something on the cheap because, you know, times are hard right now. And if you want to get into FPV, this is perfect time for grabbing something with ELRS built into it now. With this new version of the flight controller on here, I think that's cool. Maybe that's why it's a little more expensive than the last one. So you can check out the link down below, and be sure to subscribe. If you're brand new to the channel, you're gonna get a chance to win that DJI FPV drone coming up. So I paid $1,500 for it, and I'm gonna give it away with a very nice Pelican case. And 2 batteries come along with that. So get in on that. Next 100,000 subscribers, I'm gonna pick one lucky dude. Also, check me out on Patreon if you want to. That would be amazing. Sign up and help me out there. It can be around $5 a month or more if you want to get a Drone Camps t-shirt. Also, stay tuned for new drones to drop like this one in the discount drone store. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one yet. I'll make sure it still works before I send it out. Most of them I test fly, and I take, you know, around $50 off some of the retail price on things. So be on the lookout for new deals in the drone store. But take care, guys. I'm Justin Davis, and I am going to go back out and fly again because I have more drones to review for you guys. So stay tuned. Be well, guys. Stay fly. Keep the DC Army strong, and I will see you on the next one.